we were wondering if being in a sport helps with your academic performance. And we chose this topic because me, Kyron, and Stott were all in sport, and we're wondering if it makes us do better in school. And these are the sports we're in. Kyron's in football and track. I'm in football. Ethan's in football, basketball, and track. And our hypothesis is that we think being in a sport is going to help with your academic performance because you want to stay eligible to play the sport. And we got our data. We surveyed 40 students in grades 9 to 12, 10 from each grade, sent out the survey for these selected to fill out. We use randomness by using a stratified random sample. We do this by putting the locker number of every student in grades 9 to 12 in a random number generator and selecting students from the numbers they gave us.
So from our data, we put it into pie charts using a Google Forms, and for our first one, we got 19 responses on it out of the 40 we asked. And this one in particular was for asking if they're in extracurricular activities, excuse me. And all these activities here were the ones that were responded. We had more on there, but no one answered them. So we took those off. But these are all the ones out of there, and about 3/4 of our answers that we got, they were in extracurricular activities, and the other quarter was not. These two pie charts rated the effort level in, or that the students said that they had, whether they're in their activity or not in their activity. And what we found was in their activity, from what we gathered, they're more obligated to try harder. And what we read about in the paper we did, background research we did, is that they try harder to stay eligible and have better grades so they can participate in their activity, like Sheldon said. And when they're out of their activity, their effort goes down. As it shows, there's more like a 3 on a 1 to 5 scale on how hard they try, rather than probably a 5 or a 4. It goes to a 3 or a 4. And here we put in average grades. We asked for their average grades when they're in activities and when they're not. So what we found is there are a higher average grade when they're not in activities, but there is averages of D's in other that students found. And when they're in their activities, there is no D's. So what we kind of figured out with that is they're going to keep it a C or above, which I think it's a C plus is eligible for college or something like that, but there's no D's for while they're in their activity, but when they're out, they have a potential to have a lower grade. And our conclusion from the background research we did from our research is that when you're in sports, you typically try harder in school to have better grades. When you try harder in school, you do better in school. And one helps the other. And that was our research.
You should have went first. That was awesome. Oh, come on. They're here for your support. So you guys ready?
So for our stats research topic, we are going to survey a bunch of people and their opinions on schools.
So we chose this topic because hearing the students' unfiltered opinions on their school is important to know. And then we also made the survey anonymous, so their answers weren't altered, fake. And for background research, most of the articles we went through resulted with negative feelings on schools. And for our data collection, all we did was just went to the office and grabbed a lot of the locker lists from the high school, and we just put random numbers, put them all in a random number generator, and we pulled 15 numbers from each grade, and we got at 60 out of the 60 we got 34 responses. And then Mr. Sealing sent our survey to the other schools, to other math teachers he knew, and we got responses from Minnesota, RTR, Marshall, and Miami. And in total we got 241 responses, and we got 99 from Minnesota, 91 from RTR, and 36 from Marshall, and 15 from Miami.
So there are two separate surveys that we actually sent out. There were surveys that we sent out to Lakeview and no other schools. This is just for the last 5 questions where they're asked to rate each school, like from a scale to 1 to 5. So you can see that they have rated Minnesota pretty poorly, you can see, and then they rated themselves fairly high. Where on the other side you can see that it's pretty much like different. And for the schools that didn't really respond a lot were like Wyoming, there's only 15 responses, mostly neutral. There are no Lakeview answers because it's completely separate. They rated us fairly poorly. And there are a lot of people from RTR, a lot of people from Minnesota, so that's why they're scored higher. But from up there you can see the p-value, which is like more than like, which basically just means like it's like correlation basically. There's a lot of correlation, so it's not just like a coincidence. And then right here, I wanted to do a different school other than just Lakeview, so we did Wyoming. Again, p-value, there's a lot of like correlation between it. And so like 5s here, others, probably I think there were like also 4 5s out of the 200 and, no, I think it was like 220 or something. And then right here, like a lot of just like neutrals, which is probably because they just wanted to get the survey over with, is what I'm guessing. But obviously Miami people would view themselves highly. So, and just because of that, like, we did like expect like the results to come back pretty negative because of a lot of the research we did. High school students are really stressed. They don't really view themselves very highly because they don't really like their schools really. But the answers that came back were a lot of positives. Like if you go to the pie charts that were from Google Forms, they like the percentages like in the top 41% were all agree or strongly agree, except for stress levels. That was over 68%, I believe, was strongly disagree. The question was, school is not the result of my, like, stress isn't the result of school. But, yeah. And the result is just schools view themselves more positively than their students.
Want a positive? School's getting out at 1 o'clock.
Woo!
My phone started ringing during it was like school's calling, yeah. So we got. Is there another group going?
I don't know. Oh.
You guys going today?
My graph will be there.
So no.
Okay.